Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good to have you here in the community again on today. I want to just take a quick moment again and say thank you to all of you who are contributing to the community. I'm pausing specifically there just because of the things that I know are getting ready to take off at the center, and much of it would not be possible without the support and the active engagement of those of you who just regularly make it a point, no matter the small, large, big, in between, you make it a point to continue to support the vision. And for that, I am grateful. And I do not take that for granted. So it is my intentions to pause a moment and kind of review that for the year and make sure that in some way I have given a nod to those of you who certainly give a nod to us through your financial support. So thank you for that. I believe that you will be proud of the things that you see happening in a space that is really being created and held so that women can have a moment to reset the rhythm of their own life, so that women can catch their breath and gather their thoughts, really working towards that. And so, in the spirit of reciprocation and in the spirit of acknowledgement, I want to just pause, not run past that, not pretend that receiving your 10, your 20, your 50, whatever it is. Some of you send like a lump and say it's for the year because I know that I'm here regularly, whatever that is. Thank you for that. And I am going to certainly pause at some point in this year and have a moment to reflect and see specific, names and the like, and make sure that you are included in something that allows you to see where your seed is going. So thank you again. We're going to go ahead and get into Wellness Wednesday. I had a very simple question and I wanted to perhaps add a couple more, but then I thought sometimes the simplest questions are the ones that take a bit of time to explain. And so we're going to just pause with that one question today and allow you to really process it for your own lives and to really do the necessary work and adjustments to be well. So the question for Wellness Wednesday on today, and I want to read it as it came. The question was, how do I get someone to meet a need? How do I get someone to meet a need? Now, this question was asked in the context of when we were saying the first step in setting yourself free is to give yourself permission to need what you need. So before I can answer this specific question, how do I get someone to meet a need? I have to layer it with that awareness that we were talking about setting ourselves free and giving ourselves permission to need what we need. The first step in asking or getting someone to meet a need is to first be clear about what you need. Be very clear about what you need. Be very clear if validation is what you need, be clear about that. If verbal engagement is what you need, be clear about that. Let me just use that one as an example. Verbal engagement. Many of us can reflect on someone in our lives for whom they just don't talk a lot. They're either a man of a few words or they are a woman of a few words. No judgment about that at all, just an acknowledgement. And so if verbal affirmation, verbal dialogue, discussions, those heart-to-heart conversations are what you need, and you are attempting then to get it from a person who's just a person of a few words, you're going to be disappointed by soliciting them to play that role in your life. So when I say drill down and be specific about what you need, it's upon us to be very clear about that. because many people listed things like whatever it was with their mom or with their dad or with whichever parent. Being clear then about what you need and getting that from someone is very much necessary, because perhaps if we were talking to the mom or the father, they considered themselves to be giving you what you needed by, let's say, providing that meal, or providing the discipline, or providing lights in your house. But you were that little girl that really needed the verbal engagement. You wanted conversation. You wanted to hear, I love you. You wanted to talk. You wanted your father to pull you in his lap and ask you about your day and talk to you about the kid that was bullying you. Like, you needed that. But in their worlds, giving you the food was what you needed, right? And so we remove the pressure for people to try to read our minds and figure us out at this stage and at this age. Perhaps as little girls, we didn't have the verbiage to be able to articulate what we needed. But now, at this stage and age, again, that's upon us to do the work, to get the help, to get the support, to find the language to be able to articulate what we need, to find the support, the tools, the therapist, the wellness work that allows us to really drill down so that we better understand ourselves. Some of us may say, because I don't really know what I need, then that is the work. And my honest response would be, do the work of figuring that out before trying to secure someone to meet a need that you don't even know, a need that you can't even articulate, right? So that would be my first layer of a response there. If you're wanting to do the work of setting yourself free, of removing these expectations from the wrong people and the wrong places, what would be the first step in getting someone to meet a need? It is first being clear about that need. Okay, we want to be clear. I'm going to pause right here for just a moment and give us the opportunity to give me a thumbs up, to do some type of indication that allows us to know that you're tracking with the first step, and then we're going to get ready to lean into the reality of this getting someone to meet a need. And for clarity's sake, I want to say the person is not writing about getting someone to meet a need as if she's staying stuck on the same person, trying to force the same person to meet that need. I see the thumbs up coming in. Thank you for that. Tiffany, you were the first one to hit me, hon. And you were one of the people I was thinking about as well. I receive every time you slip me something on PayPal, I receive it. I want to make sure that you come and see what you are sowing into. Patricia Beatty, I receive them. I'm just seeing certain names. I don't see all of the names, but y'all too, I see your stuff. And I want to make sure that you have opportunity to come and see what you're sowing into. But yes, you got to be clear. So then number two, let me just say this for clarity in case somebody thought this person is saying like, get somebody to meet the need, like they're trying to force the same old somebody to be. No, they're saying when I figured out that I that so and so, the maternal mom, is just not going to meet the need, or she's no longer here, like my father cannot, he's no longer here. How do I really get someone to meet the need, someone different? Maybe should have been the way that added that word to the question, but how do I get someone to meet the need? Okay, so the first thing is being clear about the need. Number two, so this is where things get how they are. And I want to talk about it so that even big picture we can understand it. Thanks for all of the thumb ups that are coming in, letting me know that you're tracking. So let's layer then into what could be simple, but can also be very complex. So number two, I'm going to say a simple answer, but I'm going to help us to understand what does that look like. So how do I get someone to meet the need? I figured out that the person who I thought was my best friend really can't meet the need of what I need right now, which is loyalty. I need honest feedback. She just can't give me that. Or I figured out that my biological mom is just not maternal. She's not willing to choose to learn, and she hasn't learned to choose me. And so she's not doing the work, but I still need a spiritual mom to speak over my life. I need a mom to give me good wisdom and advice. Sometimes I'm just having a hard moment and I want to go and just feel covered and protected, right? Like whatever that need is, when you're clear about that, then number two, let's say in a variety of ways you want to choose someone different. And maybe you don't have that in your wheelhouse. You don't have that name or that person. honestly, I say you can talk to a trusted person about your desire, right? Whether it's a prayer partner, whether it's someone in ministry, someone at work, whatever it is, they may have some suggestions for you if you don't just have it in your wheelhouse. So I'm just layering there to say, so some of you may not have that direct access in your wheelhouse. And so you may need to ask somebody to help you identify someone who can do that. But let's say for the rest of us, then though, you have somebody and you're just trying to figure out, how do I get someone different? How do I get them to meet the need? This is a very simple answer, but it has layers to it. So I'm going to just start here. I'm going to start with ask. I am going to start with ask. And I'm going to drill down into that so that we understand that ask versus assume. Yo, for some of the things that we are packing, that we need to unearth, the things that the work that we need to do, sincerely, it's a lot. It's a lot. We can feel the depth sometimes of healing that we need to do within as we do the work. It's like cleaning up a house. Y'all know, to really do a deep cleaning of a house, you got to mess up some stuff. And it's okay to be willing to do the mess, to do the work, to get to something that's good and solid. Anybody ever did a deep cleaning? Honey, you got to mess up some stuff. If you trying to get to them baseboards, you got to lift them curtains up and you got to move some furniture. Like, you got to be willing to let it look a mess first to get to the cleanup part. And that's the stuff on the inside of us when we're saying nooks and crannies, like God wants to get down in there. So some of what you will journey through, it's a lot. And so I'm putting it under ask, because you cannot assume that just because someone may have the training or have the what seems to be the fortitude, or have the wisdom, you cannot assume that it is a good time for them to take on you and your stuff in their lives. Respectfully so, I am saying that. We cannot assume that someone has the emotional bandwidth, the mental bandwidth, or even the time bandwidth to take on us and our stuff. And what will happen is, if we just vicariously, like we used to when we was a little bit, little bit girls, sometimes, honey, somebody be our boyfriend, they didn't even know they was our boyfriend. And because we done made up in our minds that that's our boyfriend, and so now they our boyfriend, and honey, they not. They really not. If you ask them, they really not. And so I say that facetiously, because many of us can look at what we consider to be strong women, or women who are capable of being our mentors or being our whatever, and we just assume, we just say in our minds, okay, she's my mentor. He or she's my mentor. They're my father figure. They're my mama so and so. And you don't know what them people are facing. This I have learned from living life long enough, is life does not do a schedule. Life does not send out memos. Life does not juggle to see if this is a convenient time to bring a diagnosis over here while bringing a divorce over here. Like, life does not do that. And just because many strong women and men carry their struggles with a smile and with the strength, it does not mean that they're not going through something. And you can find yourself easily then offended and even more wounded, because you think that they didn't give you the time, the energy, or the effort that you were looking for. One, they didn't even know that you had assigned the label or the title of helper, or mentor, or rescuer, or mama to them. They didn't even know it because you assumed and did it. And two, life is not necessarily giving them a time out to take you on. So I'm going to pause there and make sure, because I don't want, in your efforts of meeting a need, to find yourself more hurt and wounded with some of these same old sing song narratives that I get when I'm working with women. Like, man, she didn't call me like I thought she would, and she don't take time, and she don't go to lunch with me, and all these unrealistic expectations for a person who just got divorce papers. But you don't know she got divorce papers because she's a strong woman, quote unquote, and she don't know you like that. She didn't tell you she's going through the midst of a divorce. So now you're walking around wounded and hurt, and now you're saying, see, that's why I don't reach out to no mentors, and that's why I don't ask nobody to help me, because people da. Grow up. Grow up. Come on, mature woman, and arise. Grow up. Life does not send out schedules and slate who's going through what when. And we as women, We as women can have those assumptions. That is why I absolutely, hands down, Tanisha, I see you on here. I hands down, I'm telling you, it is the quickest way for me to unfollow or block. And I'm getting up on the soapbox about it, but I absolutely, hands down, hate those memes and those summary statements that say things like, check who's checking on you. Those are your friends. When you're going through stuff, check the ones, see who's watching it. And that, sis, you don't know what so and so going through. It's not that so and so ain't checking on you. So and so over there trying to survive her own storm. Sincerely, that is such a immature perspective. It is such an eye perspective. It is such a 2 to 3 year old literally perspective. I'm chuckling because I have a niece and my sister knows this. Honey, that niece, my niece, her daughter, when you get something, baby, she about 3 years old. She is quick to say, share. I've talked about her before. Share. Share. She is quick to say share. But baby, if she gets some chips or something, you reach for some, honey, child, she don't want you. But she's 3, right? We're grown. It is time out for endorsing that immature perspective as if you've not lived long enough to understand storms and stuff. Some stuff can be so hard, you don't even have the words to talk about it. People think you acting funny. You're not acting funny. You just can't hardly breathe. Like literally. So all things that allow you to function and to just assume that somebody can pack your stuff without first asking them, and then not being mature enough to handle when they say, you know what, sis, all I got right now is I'm able to pray. I can pray for you, but that's all I can give. Without you walking away from that honest conversation, feeling dejected, rejected, slighted, like, oh, and see, I had wanted to go to dinner with her every week. Baby, some people ain't got no every week minute they can give you in nothing. They ain't got yeah, y'all hear me on today, so that we will not wound ourselves in trying to get the help, okay? So ask versus assume. And I see y'all coming right on in here talking about, yes, ask versus assume. That's it. Number 3, okay, so we're talking about, how do I get somebody? When I realize I have a need, how do I get somebody? How do I choose somebody to help with that? So first, we're clear about the needs. We're not going to folk, expecting the folk to figure out what we need. I've had people come to me and they want to meet with me, and I'm going to ask, particularly if it's not like a friend thing, it's a mentor, it's a wellness work type, because something, I'm going to ask you, so what do you need? What are you wanting from me? So that I can really be honest about whether I can deliver that or not. And sometimes they never answer the question. I'll never follow up. And I'm gonna talk about that part too. Okay. So we ask. I mean, we're clear about our needs. Even if you say to me, I don't know what I need, but I know that I need to do the work of figuring that out. That's still you answering that question, right? That's still you saying, then what I need is somebody who can help me figure out the need. All right. So we're clear about the need. We learn to ask instead of assume. We learn to ask. We don't just assume that somebody is our mentor or somebody is our this or that, and then we stand around disappointed because they haven't measured up when they didn't even know that they have been received that label, and they certainly had not agreed to be that for you, right? So we ask. We really do. We ask. And let me show you that even in everyday language, I have received like a text out of the blue or a phone call. So any of us may be able to relate. And that text may say, girl, I'm in deep depression. I could barely get up and da 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 da. And so just call me when you get a chance. Just a text. Or you may pick up the phone and you say, hey, how you doing? And the person's like, girl, this, and 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 this too is going on. And one of the things, I don't want to say one thing that one of my friends really practices, and I've begun to try to do that as well, is when I even answer the phone or when we engage with one another, she will say something like, is this a good time? Particularly for me to tell you about something that's happening in my life. I'm saying that to say, because it's so easy to operate in the assumption mode that many of us may not realize that we do that. Now, some of us, like my girlfriend Kim, who y'all know I reference her all the time, honey, we don't give no really polite disclaimers. But we've been kicking it. As I said to you, we're generational friends. Our moms are friends. We've established that we are whatever that is with one another. Honey, she's one of the ones. If she called me at 3, I'm getting up. If she called me at 1, I'm getting like, she's one of the ones, right? And each of us should develop that in our lives with our people. But can't none of us be that to everybody, right? Nobody can. It doesn't matter. It's not even about whether I love you or not. Nobody can be the 3 a.m., the 1 o'clock person to everybody in their lives, right? So if you are then attempting to get a mentor or get a person like that to do wellness stuff with you, in addition to being clear about what you need, asking them first, still in having that dynamic being established, if they said yes, there's still an appropriateness to it. They are not at your beck and call. I want us to understand that. It doesn't mean that if someone has said, yes, I will be your mentor, that means then that any time of the day, you shoot me your worst scenario, you call, and the minute I say hello, you say everything that's, baby, you gonna burn out your help operating that way, because again, life does not schedule. And for all that you know, she's in a doctor's appointment when that text hits. For all that you know, her car just got rear-ended from behind when she answers the call just to say hello, and then she gets like, you don't know. And so if you're going to want people to exist in your life, playing certain roles and doing things to uplift you, I'm gonna have to say it again like this: grow up. Come on, grow up. Grow up. And so it's if Gina, if Carol, if Patricia, whoever has agreed, I'm your help. But that was not a get out of jail free card, I'm gonna be your garbage can. Now I'm gonna be your dump. It is okay, they've agreed. Today is a really hard day. Let me just text and say, is today a good day for you to talk to me? Can you find some time on your schedule this week for us to meet? It's you receiving help, but being gracious enough to understand that they're still living life too. And don't nobody, I'm just telling y'all, honey, don't nobody want no whole extra baggage load of junk. Can somebody identify with me right there and just raise your hand and say, well, I'm willing to talk some people through and walk some people through. But in my own life right now, the way it's situated, even if it was in my best days or my worst days, I'm not looking to take on a whole baggage load of stuff. Like I still want to, y'all get it. Y'all with me. Okay. So even in your engagement within the dynamic, don't allow titles like mentor, pastor, my play mama, and all that stuff to make you feel as if now I have the right to just bogart in their life and they're here and available at my whim. Now, I'm saying a lot, so y'all, some note keepers, y'all track it, right? Even within that, y'all, make sure that you are ready. I tell people that, and most of y'all who know me know, I tell people that when you get ready to engage with me from this perspective of doing wellness work and doing therapeutic types of things, be ready to receive the feedback. I'm going to give y'all a very simple example, and then we'll talk a little bit about that. So y'all see how ask really ain't as simple as ask, because you gotta be right. You gotta be ready. Okay, so this one young lady was like, I've really been trying to get an opportunity. I've really been trying to get an opportunity, an employment opportunity. And I was like, okay, well, let me see what you're presenting to people. Let me see your resume, or let me see your cover letter. Let me see whatever that is. And I'm gonna give just real basic, right? I'm gonna give you a little basic example. And so she brought it to me. One, it was handwritten. Y'all say what you want to say. I don't care. I'm a person who hires folk, right? So I'm gonna stick by what I'm saying. Oftentimes, if people are receiving resumes, applications, and stuff like that, and it comes in handwritten, honey, you already gonna be put over there in that other stack, because they're going to read that as this person was not willing to even go to, if you, before you say, maybe she ain't got no printing, got no library. Okay, cool. This person not willing to go to A library. They got free access to stuff like that. This person's not willing to have at least one good friend that she can get on. And you say, well, she ain't got no friends. Well, honey, then she ain't got no friends. I don't need her in my workplace anyway. Because anybody 30, 40, 50 ain't got not one friend, that's reflective of you. Y'all know how I feel about the women who say ain't got no friends. It's a reflection of you. That's a whole nother soapbox. Because the Bible says he who has friends must first show himself friendly. So anybody who go around on that sing song ain't got nobody, honey, that's a flag to me, because it's a reflection to me then of how you must have presented you to folk. If you don't like that, you're not gonna like the community, because I'm gonna straight shoot it to you, right? So anywho, back to it. So she gave me this stuff. It was handwritten, y'all. And I said, okay, well, firstly, let me not even go to the firstly, because y'all already know I'm gonna say go type it. That ain't what I said firstly. Then it was handwritten in different color inks. Different color inks. You got some blue, you got some black, you got some scratch outs. That's a no-no. So yes, Tiffany, show yourself friendly. So anywho, so I said, firstly, then what I would suggest is it be tight. But if it's an absolute must that you write it, then I'm going to say at least get one color ink. I would recommend black. I would recommend just write it all in black or write it all in blue. But don't do your application with all these mixed. I'm looking like I'm looking at y'all. I'm doing my hand on it. Don't do all that. Honey, when young lady told me she didn't feel like the different color inks was a big deal, I said, okay. Because you solicited me for your life, I'm trying to give you what I know. And you let me know back in response to what I advise that you don't think that's a big deal. It's fine. I said, okay. Because what most people who are in mentorship status or whatever you want to call it, honey, many of them have the same mentality. We have similar mentalities. I'm not fighting with nobody to help them. I ain't arguing with you to help you. I'm not fighting with you to help you. Listen, I'm not even following up with you to help you. Y'all get it. You take it for what it's worth. For those of you who are saying, how do I get someone different to meet that need? Be teachable. Don't ask for input if you didn't really want no input. Don't tell me you want to meet with me and then expect me to call you for the meeting. Don't ask me when, text or call me, let me know when we can connect. No, ma'am. You reach out to me to find out when we can connect. Is if you're going to ask for that, be willing to be teachable and to do the work of making that connection. So when she started giving me her little pushback, trust and believe, baby, you can write in the Rainbow Coalition colors. Do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. I am not going to argue with you to help you. So if you are saying that you're trying to get someone different to meet a need, be willing to receive their feedback. Be willing to do the work. Don't sit and say, well, she ain't called me yet. Call her. Well, I called her the other day and she still ain't called me back. Call her again. Call her again. Sometimes people are waiting to see, how much does this mean to you? If you're like me and all I got is this much room on my plate, I'm very careful about what else I add to my plate. Oftentimes for me, when people begin to even ask for one-on-one time, the first thing that I'm going to do is give you group free stuff that I'm doing. And I'm going to see how you show up for that. When you're contacting me, y'all know I already told y'all, I don't work for food. I don't really meet for food. For many people, that day's out. So when you're saying, I need your time and I'll take you to lunch, I'm grown. I can go buy some lunch. I got lunch, right? So I'm saying that to say, so people oftentimes will do something like that. And I will respond by saying, not really capable of going to lunch right now, really wanting to go to lunch right now, but we're doing wellness work in the community. It's free every single morning at 6 a.m. For the first couple of weeks, meet me there. Meet me there. Meet me right there. Y'all can best believe with this free platform that is so easy to get to and get work done and get tools and nuggets. If you and we have 5 days a week. If you can't show up here, if you can't show up here, what would make me get in my car in Houston traffic on my gas and come all the way across town to probably eat a $20 meal because it's probably the level of place you're going to take me to. Why would I do all of that and you won't even come to something that I'm extending to you for free, right? That's my measure. Some of you may have a different measurement, and you may say, they keep saying they want to blah, 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 blah. They said they want me to come and help them learn how to make a garden. Well, first, I'm going to invite them to come over here where I'm working in my own flower bed and tell them to come, and you want to talk to me. And while I help you get a garden together, come over here and get on the ground with me in my flower bed. And let's just get up weeds in my flower bed and we'll have a conversation then. See if they show. One of my good friends and mentor friends, Terry, even said this. She said that she would meet people once she transitioned to meeting people because they'd shown up a few times. This virtually, you ain't got to go nowhere, right? And she said she would get to like a restaurant and the person would be like 35 minutes late. And then, so she gave herself a limit. She don't call them. She done gave herself a limit. And I forget her exact time, and Terry may be watching, but she said, so I give myself a limit. I used to wait about 15 minutes. Now, sometimes if she walks in the place and the mentee, a person wanting her time, is not there, they haven't called or anything, she looks for them. And if they're not there, she go ahead and go. And then when they start ringing her phone, time I reschedule, she's not even picking up right away. Because if we're wanting people to help us, y'all, there's a level of just straight up home training, courtesy, appreciation stuff that has to be there. Because these people don't owe us their time. They don't owe us their energy. They don't owe us their emotions. They don't owe us their efforts. And I see that we're here at our time. So I want to wrap this up because I really want us to be helped. Somebody just put honor people. Exactly. I really want us to be helped and not mishandled. But oftentimes, we are why we are mishandled. We are why. We are why we are mishandled. People pick up when you're taking advantage. People understand that folk invest where they want to invest. Folk get it that the same folk, honey, we're gonna keep it all unnamed. We're gonna name no names, but the same folk who'll go and spend $400, $500 on a ticket onto a concert. I ain't knocking it. I'm just saying it, right? Or go on fantastic trips or this, that, or the other. Honey, them same folk won't spend $5 sowing a seed. People get it. And so people no longer make excuses like, if we're believers, if we're Christians, if we're this, with this expectation that I just give you all of me with no expectations from you. People are over it. They're burnt out on it. And so if it is really your desire, let's say it's the maternal thing, and I really do need it in my life, then be willing to be honorable and in integrity and in appreciation, asking somebody to take you and all that you're processing on. Then some of you, let me just end with this, need to do two things. One, you're going to have to divide it up. I've said that honestly. I will call Pastor Althea and let her pray me down while texting Connie B, Miss Connie B to y'all, Miss Connie B, texting her saying, I have a hectic week coming up. Can you help me with my food prep? While having gone to visit Zoe just yesterday, and will have my godmom be one of my regular supporters of the org. And all of them play maternal roles in my life, unapologetically. I highlight that to say some of y'all gonna have to split what you need up. Some of y'all gonna have to split what you need up and be okay that one person cannot or just will not do all of it. It's okay. It is literally okay. That's one part. And the other part, some of you will really have to do the investment. You have some years of stuff that you need to walk through. Some of you need to grow up and begin to be willing to do the investment in yourself in this area respectfully, because you're willing to invest in everything else, except when it comes to your mental, emotional, your wellness. You need to be willing to invest. You need to move past going into a restaurant, asking for a glass of water, then getting some sugar on the side and telling the folk to bring you some lemons so that you can make free lemonade instead of just buying a drink. Y'all, we was doing that stuff as kids. Y'all lean in with me one time. Everybody be leaning on the love button while saying at the same time, grow up. Some of us need to understand that the level of work that we need help. And it is not for us to try to get all of that in some free capacity instead of just saying, at this stage and age, and for what I am going through, it is time out for ordering a glass of water, trying to get some Splenda off of the table next door, and asking the other person to bring me some lemons so I can sit up here with my grown self and make some free lemonade instead of just ordering a drink and paying for it. Period. Period. And I'm saying that with love. I really am. Because we need to do the work to be better. We need to do the work to be better so that the narratives and the stuff that we have inside of our spirits, our hearts, our minds are really being healed. It is God's desire that we are well and we are whole. That's God's desire. And He has given us many avenues to pursue that. And if you can literally look on your roster and you can see from a budgetary place that you will go on trips, you will buy shoes, you will go to concerts, you will blah, 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 all the stuff. Y'all know, me too, all the stuff, but will not invest in yourself for this area, and you feel it however you want to feel it, or you'll even come right here every single day pretty much and eat. And you know, and sometimes I know, won't even give $5. Grow up. Do better. That's a reflection of you and how you're willing to take but not give. And that is what will then show up in your life. It's time to just grow up and do better. That's it. Like, no, not a lot of excuses and stuff. And there's a remnant of us, grown women who mature women arise, and we getting ourselves together. We're done. We're done with playing games. We're done with sugarcoating. We're done. And so, if you're really wanting those types of people in your life, they're going to give you this type of feedback. They're going to call you to the carpet on you. And only you can determine, am I really ready to do the work? So I said a lot because I said it's a simple question, but there's layers to that. And somebody can chronicle them again, or you can re-listen and write the steps, like being clear about your need. Ask, don't assume. Be a person then, if you're in this space, to respect it. Don't come in here bulldozing people with these texts and with these like unloading when they answer the phone. Like, if they've agreed to take you on, you got to handle that with a bit of acknowledgement that their world has life happening as well. Like, there are lots of tips. You got to really process that, because these roles that we want to bring people into, baby, we're not asking them to go swing on a swing. We asking them to do some real stuff. Like, think about if somebody was asking you that. This is some real stuff. And so I'll just end with this one. Y'all also know I've talked about him frequently, Brother Victor Simon. He's one of my people. Very much a father figure role. I'm very clear, though. I'm very clear. Y'all hear me in all earnest. I am a single woman, right? Brother Simon is a married man with kids. Even in him having a fatherly capacity in my life, y'all, I still navigate that with deepest respect for Sister Simon. I navigated with deepest respect that he's a pastor of a church. I navigated with deepest respect that he's a father and has grandkids and a whole life. So even when I say that when I need or want that fatherly advice, I will reach out for him. He'll tell you, she'll tell you, but his phone don't be ringing at no 1 in the morning from me. That what his no, I don't do that kind of stuff. When I surprised and went to meet him, even on that Father's Day, I kid you not, the little Uber man would tell you, I flew in. I went straight to a hotel. I did not expect him or her to put me up in their home. I'm not asking you for all of that. No, I didn't expect any of that. When I went to spend time with him, it was at the church house in Louisiana. I'm not meeting you for no evening dinner in a restaurant, not asking you to do any of that. I'm coming to the church. It's a public building. It's lots of people there. You have an office here. Your wife is here. I'm just trying to help us, right? I bought my own ticket. I didn't ask him to fly me there. I paid for my own hotel. I didn't ask him to pay for it to lodge me. Honey, left a gift. Yes, because I respect your time and your energy. I'm trying to help us so that we can really have the quality people in our lives that we desire. Trying to help us. And all of that happened, took his advice, apply what he says. Why go all the way up there and listen at his feet and then come home and do something different, right? Did all of that. Miss Constance will tell you, and honey, she been rock and roll with me for years. She rock and roll with me because when the storm came, I forget which storm it was. I had just met her at church and was willing to take my little old raggedy car through the waters to go get her. Honey, can't even swim, but I knew that you were an older single woman in a place by yourself, and the lights and all that was going out in the city. And I know, and I'm going home with 8 folk, and we finna be in the country out this city. You can come, and since then we've been rocking and rolling. That's our history. But anywho, but she'll tell you that even when I said, "Can you cook me some?" I said, "I'll buy the containers. I'll give what I don't." Yeah, she'll tell you that. She said, "Girl, I got some containers. I got some food. You ain't gotta." But I'm gonna offer. I'm not going to. Y'all get what I'm saying. So anyway, we're gonna wrap that up. Wellness Wednesday. How do I get someone different to meet a need? I said a whole lot. I'm hopeful that I'm helping you in my transparency and in my truth and my real life experiences. I'm hoping that that's giving you insight. If you've been blessed today, go ahead as always. Lean on that like button, lean on that love button. Let folk know it's in love. Somebody need to tell us the truth in love. In love. Yeah, in love. Absolutely. We'll do Talk to Me Thursday on tomorrow. Thank you, Deborah. Will do Talk to Me Thursday on tomorrow. I'm going to lean into the question that Regina asked. So if anybody knows Regina, Regina could be here. Again, I just acknowledge this thing doesn't always allow me to see your names. It just, I can see some sometimes. So if Regina is here, then you will hear this. If not, and somebody knows Regina and she have like 3 different names on the thing when I go back and read, she's asked a couple of times about reshaping the narrative about God. And why that's so critical is because often the way that we see God impacts how we see ourselves. I'm going to do some work in that. I think it's critical to go into the new year really understanding God and how much He loves us, how much He's rooting for us versus waiting to zap us and catch us and get us. And in the context of what we just saw with our elder brother Jesus, honey, the Bible says that shows us that He gonna stoop, get all the way down here with us. And then I love this beautiful image of him. The Bible also says that Jesus has ascended to the right hand of the Father. Baby, he be sitting up there rooting for us, talking to him, whispering like when I be sitting up on Kim, we're gonna go see The Color Purple. Or what she say? She said we're gonna go see The Color Purple, y'all. So yes, I'm gonna say that real quick. This is so random. I don't know what. Yeah. Anywho, on y'all know on Christmas Day we supposed to be going to see The Color Purple. Now, if you don't like The Color Purple, you don't have to tell me you don't like The Color Purple. Just go and get off or ignore me, whatever. But on Color Purple on Christmas Day on the 25th, right? And you're supposed to go and wear purple. So I'd be super excited about it because purple my favorite color. So Zoe is going with me to go see The Color Purple, y'all, on Christmas Day. And my auntie is going, and my sister Michelle is going. And honey, we're going to actually be on that end. I do so much of my life in Houston and elsewhere, but I'm just excited to be down on that end. So honey, we're going to be over there in College Station. I don't know the name of it, Lee, but if anybody else, Tiffany, anybody else down there in that area, Sarah, y'all just want to come on too, we're going to the 4 o'clock showing at the College Station Center some Google. Y'all know they ain't hardly got that many. And it's gonna be the 4 o'clock showing. And I'm just glad to be able to hang out on that end. My cousin is gonna be down there, Sylvia. She gonna be at that same showing. So several of us. So anybody else who just want to join on that day, that afternoon, we'll be over there. But anywho, I don't know why I made that commercial. I ain't getting paid by them for nothing. I'm just telling y'all because I'm excited. So that's that. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the narrative stuff. Again, we have our pop-up this upcoming Sunday from 2 to 4 at Sweet Greeks. I hope to get to hug a whole lot of y'all next and do all that like we do. And what you say? We're going as well. Oh, but you're going to the premiere. Okay, all right, gotcha. Okay, well, we'll still be in our purple. We'll just tag each other. So yeah, so we'll be at the pop-up from 2 to 4 this upcoming Sunday at Sweet Greeks. Again, I will be bringing product for those of you who ordered so I can have it there. And if you just need to get yours, we're going to kick off the top of the year with Queens See Queens and start doing that journey from a different lens. That's all I got, y'all. Thank you for hanging with me today. I'll see you in the morning for Talk to Me Thursday. Again, we'll keep the community doors wide open and active until next Friday, December the 22nd. We will close out our 2023 year in a time of prayer. I'll lead that on Friday, the 22nd. Okay. And then we'll be wrapped up for the year. And we will be very grateful to God for the work that He's done within us as we pursue theme 2023 well and whole. As always, I honor the greatness that's on the inside of you. See you in the morning.